Welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio with this week's pre-orders, and they are live. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and warcry content as well. Everything from reactions, reviews, and news to unboxings and all sorts of tutorials, as well as we are a commission-based studio and always show off our commissions as they leave the studio. Have a couple of videos for those coming out very shortly, so make sure you check those out as well. That being said, let's take a look at our pre-orders this week. Not a ton going on here from Games Workshop, but some cool ones nonetheless. So we see the Pariah Bequin Book 1 Special Edition coming out there. We know this is extremely limited. There are less than 2,000 copies available worldwide, signed by the author as well. Essentially, this book has some inquisitorial kind of twist going on, a little deal between Eisenhorn and essentially the main star of this book, but honestly limited to 2,000. So if you do want to pick this one up, highly recommend that you jump on it before the opportunity is gone, as typically these books sell at quite a premium after they are no longer available directly from the web store. So very cool looking cover. Definitely nice quality books here. They've got like the gold rim and the little built-in like cloth kind of bookmark going on and everything. Really, honestly, the quality coming from Black Library is absolutely stunning. All their books are like the actual book itself are phenomenal. Now the authors and the content of those books obviously varies, but overall I heard like very good things about them. So moving on down the line here, we have the Norse Blood Bowl team, Norsca Rampagers next. These models, once again, pretty cool looking. You do get a series of essentially like 2 sprues. So it's duplicate sprues, essentially. So there's some options to basically put different heads on some of the models. A couple different hands as well, so that none of your models have to look the same. It is a team of, I believe we looked at it before, and it was 16 models. So it's like 8 models on each sprue, including the beer boar. And then you obviously have a couple of tokens, some footballs, and whatnot as well. So cool looking models overall. Definitely like the aesthetic of them. They're pretty unique. Kind of remind me of like Space Wolves, or like obviously like Norse warriors of myth, but a football team instead, or American football for those watching overseas or across the pond. Really nice models overall. I like the unique look to them. There's definitely lots of possibilities either for Blood Bowl itself, or to do some conversions or something else with also. So $50 for those. Nice looking team and everything. Glad to see that the Blood Bowl teams actually didn't go up in price. I'm not sure why originally those were listed as something that was going to be going up extremely high in price, and then actually like pretty much stayed the same. But I am happy for those Blood Bowl players that is the case. So next we have the Blood Bowl Norse team dice set. So $18 for these. It is only 7 dice. They come in the special team colors for this. Obviously kind of have like an ice theme going on. The yellow is fairly legible on this kind of like marbled blue and white look. Cool dice. It's a little different with these because they are like specialty dice for Blood Bowl. So I could see somebody more likely to pay a premium for this kind of dice they can't just get from somewhere else. And also it's not just a bunch of D6s. You have a couple of other, more unique dice in there, as well as the, special printed dice. So similar to like the Necromunda dice, it's not like you can just pick up some D6s and these do the same. Obviously you could modify a set and do whatever, but the difference between being able to just buy off-brand dice or these dice is much bigger for some of these specialty games. So makes a little more sense. $18 for the Blood Bowl Norse team dice set. Then we have the Blood Bowl Norse team card pack, $30 for those. Again, the card packs are nice to have, as it's just an extra little something to go along with your games. A lot of times having the cards for these various games is nice because it gives everything to you right there, easily accessible. You don't have to flip through books or look up to find your different stuff. So I can understand with the cards as well. Nice little accessory to have, 30 bucks for those. And then we have the Norse pitch, double-sided pitch and dugout set, $50 for this set. It does have the reversible board. This is a unique board with some special rules for playing on ice, and then if you flip it to the other side, it has cracked ice. So again, you have some special rules for that as well. And then you have your 2 team dugouts. So nice, unique set for those Blood Bowl players out there. And nice little kind of like themed week for our pre-orders, as the Blood Bowl Norse team is obviously primary. And then we also know there's some Forgeworld models available as well. A couple of like star players and, some big boys in there. Next we have Sigismund, the Eternal Crusade. Oh, you know what is this? Yeah, this was from this week. And this is hardback. Obviously, it tells the story of, I think it's sort of like the origin of the Black Templars. Obviously, I have not read this book yet, but $19 for Sigismund in hardback. Obviously, if you are a fan of the Templars or the history, or just like Space Marines in general, maybe want to put this one on your list. And then we have Traitor Rock is next. Obviously, this has a little something to do with the Cadian. I believe this is the second book in the series, if I'm not mistaken. And this one is coming out now in paperback. It was previously available in hardback. So $16 for the paperback. And again, if you want to find out about Cadia and the struggles of, the Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum, this is probably a book for you. And then next we have the Blood Bowl Spike Journal issue 14. So this is $15 for the Spike Journal. This is obviously like a Blood Bowl themed magazine. This does contain all of the rules inside for the Norsca Raiders. So if you're planning on picking up the team for 50 bucks, absolutely recommend that you get the Spike Journal as well for 15. So basically for $65 you can add a new Blood Bowl team to your arsenal. I think overall that's fairly reasonable for someone looking to start a new team or jump into a game like Blood Bowl with some friends. From what I hear, the game is very fun. We don't have a ton of people playing outside of like the main games, especially not outside of, Games Workshop realm. But here, Blood Bowl has a decent little following, so it's nice to see some of these other games a little more popular in areas where the offshoot games are just not that big. So, and then we also have the Blood Bowl Spike Journal issue 14 e-publication, so you can get the digital version for essentially like iPad or phone or just whatever's convenient for you, if you prefer the digital to physical. That is actually it for the new pre-orders this week. Pretty limited, kind of an off week, but it's been a pretty busy rollout schedule. So we did find out about some new upcoming stuff. We have a new Underworld game coming with some stunning miniatures. If you're a Skaven fan, I'm sure you are extremely excited, as the Skaven line is far overdue for an update, and the models that come in this set are super, super cool. Obviously, if you're into Underworlds in general, I'm sure you're excited. Some people were saying that it seemed like a rather quick follow-up to the recent release. But the truth is, I'm honestly not sure. They've only just announced it. They haven't given any dates or anything like that. So it still could be, a couple weeks, a month, a couple months even down the pipe. And this is just our first kind of sighting of it. And then also, not to leave them off, but the Daughters of Cain are the other half of that set. And absolutely phenomenal looking miniatures as well. They are very similar to the Catacombs warband that came out not too long ago for Warcry, and the sisters that were inside of them. So again, very, very nice looking miniatures. Super excited. Honestly, have not gotten into that game at all, but I have purchased quite a few warbands just because the models are so nice, and they are like perfect for D&D, and probably will be picking up that set as well. And just kind of scrolling on down here, we see what's left over of last week's pre-orders now officially available. So obviously we have the data cards for Tyranids, $29. The new Parasite of Mortrex model for $38. Our Tyranid dice set for $38. And then we have Codex Tyranids finally hitting shelves for $55. Definitely a big release. Everyone is super excited about this. We just got the balanced status light, so we'll see how the Tyranids fit in with it. to tell you the truth, with a lot of the new armies coming out, obviously there's issues with power creep and rules bloat and whatnot. And the battle reports I have seen, the early ones, using either the leaked codex or the official codex for like some of the Games Workshop early access people, the Tyranids seem cool and fun and thematic, but I haven't seen them just absolutely dominating. As a matter of fact, the majority of the battle reports I've seen, they have lost. And it might have to do with the selection of units, might have to do with the selection of, hive worlds or hive fleets. Could just be that they're not as overpowered as they initially looked, and I suspect that that is the case. They do have some builds that could be very strong, like most armies. They do have some really key units, but overall, I think the Tyranids are in a better place than most armies, and the balanced status slate has fixed some of the biggest issues, like indirect fire, the bodyguard rule, and then, of course, Harlequin's points cost as well. So to tell you the truth, I think right now, going forward, and a couple other ones too that I overlooked, just now. The Custodes have lost a lot of the objective secure on non-troop infantry, which I think is key. And they've also had some limits on stratagems. So they're not going to be overpowered as they were previously. And then, of course, a huge one is that pretty much anyone in power armor got a massive boost. The subtracting -1 from all AP weapons shooting at basically Space Marines without like a storm shield or combat shield. So if you don't have an invulnerable save from a piece of equipment like one of those shields, you basically subtract -1 from AP when it hits you. So now if you get shot with a weapon with -1 AP, it goes to 0. So essentially a 3-up power armored Marine or sister or something like that is going to go to a 2-up in cover and then have no AP on that weapon. So they're going to be substantially more durable. And if I'm not mistaken, the way the rule reads, actually if somebody shoots you with like a -2 AP weapon, it actually goes down to -1 AP, and then you would still get your armor save, but with just the -1 AP to it. So overall, basically improves the save of all Marines and power armored models by 1. So that is very strong, with those few exceptions. So overall, I think we're seeing a well-needed boost to a lot of like the MEQ units, Sisters, Grey Knights, even Chaos as well. I think Death Guard is just got a huge boost and no one's talking about it. The fact that now Death Guard gets that additional -1 AP and they're already super durable, I think is a huge deal. So we'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, theoretically, once they get a second wound as well, -1 damage, theoretically again, -1 damage, multiple wounds, and -1 AP on everyone is going to be really good. Now, a lot of those armies already had a -1 AP modifier, so they basically got buffed in other ways to kind of make up for it. But overall, I think the balanced status slate was nice. Looking forward to see how it plays out, and I think it really corrected a lot of the issues with a lot of the armies. Of course, there's still some people out there crying about certain armies here and there. Not going to point any fingers, but it takes time. Obviously, they're doing a lot to balance a lot of the game and the units, and they're getting there, I think, overall. Hopefully, the edition sticks around long enough once the codexes are all out that they can give it some time, balance it, let people play with what they have before they start rushing into a new edition. I think that way they can kind of figure out, okay, what should we be doing here? There's some interesting changes people have suggested or that I have thought of myself. Something to the effect of the same way you pick out like your, mission cards for like your secondaries and then you have like your primary. I think having something where maybe, you have a limited amount of stratagems you can use in a game. Maybe you pick 6 stratagems before the game starts and then you have access to only those 6 stratagems throughout the game, or something to that degree, just to kind of speed it up a little bit and take away a bunch of like the extra rules. And then of course, just kind of tweaking the balance a little bit more. But overall, like where they're going, the data slate was huge, fixed a ton of the issues and basically everything that people have been talking about. So is Games Workshop listening? Did they just get lucky? Was this their plan the whole time? I'm not sure. Let me know what you think down below. We also saw the Season of War Thondia come out. Apparently this is not popular at all. People were pretty, let's just say some people voiced their, input on this in the comments and overall throughout the internet, and it sounds like people are not excited for this. So we have the book for $55, the Realmscape for $60, special edition for $90, and then the Realmscape Thondia and Strongpoint for $220. I give you guys my opinion on this. I think the new terrain and the new beast that comes in it is pretty cool overall, but I think this set is extremely overpriced. So that being said, it's up to you. I think the biggest thing that people need to remember is just because Games Workshop has like a rapid release schedule and they're putting out stuff that you don't necessarily want to buy, doesn't mean you have to buy it. It doesn't mean that your local scene has to start playing with these new rules or these new monsters or whatever. Obviously, if they're really good, you're more likely to buy it because you want to use the really good stuff or something is really cool. But I think that's completely up to you. I think sometimes people get overwhelmed by the release schedule and feel like they have to buy every new book or play with every new set of rules or whatever. The truth is, unless you're like a serious tournament player and the tournament scene adopts like the new set or the seasons or whatever, and you have to have it for that, I think really you can just pass by whatever you're not that excited about. So if you're not excited about Thondia and the new season for Sigmar, skip it. If you're not excited about the terrain, don't worry about it. I mean, that's my honest opinion. I think that it's cool to have options. It's a cool new book. There's some cool new rules in it and some cool new terrain to go along with it. So it's a nice little like kind of setting change there. But if you're not into it, just pass it up like it never happened. And, everything's gravy. Again, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can let me know what you think down below. And then finally, we see the Combat Patrol TYRANIDS coming out. $150 for the Hive Tyrant, 3 of the Warriors, and then a ton of Termagants. I've already been pretty clear how I feel about this. You're basically getting 2 big squads of Termagants and a squad of Warriors, and then 1 HQ. So you're basically getting 3 troops and a HQ in this set. You can build the Hive Tyrant as either regular Hive Tyrant, Flying Hive Tyrant, or Swarmlord. Pretty cool overall. Decent savings over, buying these models individually. It is sort of a unique set. I don't think we have ever seen a box before with 1 HQ and 3 troops in it. So it's definitely an interesting choice. I think there's some potential for swarm armies to kind of come back in the future. So maybe, this is going to pan out. I do like the Termagants. I do like Tervagons. So the idea of, the Mama Bug spawning out a bunch more or replenishing their ranks throughout the game is pretty cool to me. Tyranid Warriors are obviously pretty good in this edition as well. And then, Hive Tyrant is basically an auto-include in every army. So this is pretty decent core force, I think, for most people. So that being said, that is our new releases this week. And then, basically like the now available models from last week. I think this is the big one that you really got to jump on if you are interested in this. The Pariah Bequin Book 1 Special Edition, obviously signed. Very nice cover right here. Front and back. I mean, super cool art, and like the gold etching on it and everything is super cool. Really nice looking overall. And then again, we see, the gold kind of like filigree around the pages, and then the like built-in little cloth bookmark and everything. It is signed by Dan Abnett. And again, super limited. I really like the overall look of this. This is a nice book to me. It's super cool, very unique. $65 for this. Only 2,000 copies available worldwide. It is a nice looking book overall. And, they went into the details a little bit on this. An intriguing and evocative story that shows characters you know and love through new yet strangely familiar eyes, forging a stunning mystery that will leave you astonished. In the city of Queen Mab, nothing is quite as it seems. Pariah, spy, and inquisitorial agent, Elizabeth Bequin is all of these things, and yet none of them. An enigma even to herself, she is caught between Inquisitor Gregor Eisenhorn and Gideon Ravener, former allies, now enemies, as they play a shadow game against a mysterious and deadly foe. Coveted by the archenemy, pursued by the Inquisition, Bequin becomes embroiled in a dark plot, which she knows on her role or purpose. Helped by a desperate group of allies, she must unravel the secrets of her life, and past if she does, is to survive a coming battle in which the line between friends and foes is fatally blurred. So written by Dan Abnett, leather effect binding and tarot card style cover art with gilt page edges, blue ribbon bookmark, includes a map of the Scaris sector, author introduction signed by Dan Abnett, and individually numbered from an edition of 2000. So pretty cool overall. I think this is nice. I like the quality coming from this. I know a lot of people are not readers. I know a lot of people that do read these books say they're absolutely stunning. I always hear good things about Dan Abnett. I'm not sure that I've ever read anything full of his before, but this does look pretty cool, and it is extremely limited. So if you were looking to pick this up, you still have a chance, but after that, probably going to be substantially more expensive or unobtainable. But that's it for today. Going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Let me know what you think, like always, down below in the comment section. Always like to hear from you guys. I know this set of, basically new releases and, officially availables was a little underwhelming for a lot of people. Most everyone was focused on something else with the holiday, and then obviously our balanced status slate for 40K coming out. So that being said, happy holidays to anyone that celebrates it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I am Warhammer Man. This is Warhammer Man Studios. And if you enjoy the Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, or Warcry content as well, Underworlds, anything pretty much Horus Heresy, D&D, if it is tabletop wargaming related, make sure that you like and subscribe, as we will be talking about it. All kinds of reactions, reviews, and news, tutorials, basically showing off our commissions as they go out of the studio. And got an unboxing coming up as well for you guys. So that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.